Welcome back, my duelist friends, Casual Duelist. And as you guys can tell, it's Monday. Monday usually means an alternate game from Yu-Gi-Oh! Today it's going to be Yu-Yu-Hakusho TCG. Guys, I don't really remember too much on how to play this, even though I still have all of my decks in a rulebook somewhere. Haven't seemed to have been able to find that yet. But I do have the decks, so we can show them off. It's got a lot of cool artwork. I want to say 100% of it was taken from the anime itself. Which ran for, I want to say, 4 seasons. And I'm not sure, but the card game may have gone through all of the seasons. This was released back in the the early 2000s, somewhere in that time period, because this is still Score. And I want to say Upper Deck was in this. Or this may have just been Score. Let's see what it says here at the bottom. Fuji TV, Pierrot, Funimation. So, no Upper Deck, just Score. What I do remember is you do start with 4 of your fighters. You can have a maximum of 5. It's similar to the Dark Tournament. In fact, the entire game wants to play like the Dark Tournament. So for this deck, this one was given to me. This was kind of like a loot in and of itself. A friend sold me his collection many years ago. And what you would do is you would choose your fighters. You would choose your lineup like round 1, 2, 3, 4. And then your 5th fighter will be somewhere in your deck, shuffled in with the rest of your cards. And if you draw this fighter, you may place them on your bench. That would be fine. I think you can have more than one 5th fighter. It's just a matter of drawing them. And again, what ends up happening is you go with they have a defensive value up in the top right. They do have attacks down here. I do not remember what the numbers are for. It was like some sort of energy sequencing. For this game. It's one of the parts I can't remember right now. They do have a team affiliation. There are team effects. Again, they're in the rule book. So again, I don't remember what team Yusuke or team Urameshi does. I just know that I had all of team Urameshi because he built the deck. So just real quick, let's take a look at the cards. He did have Yusuke. It was Yusuke Unleashed. It looks pretty sweet. It's got this effect called Berserk. If you have no characters in your sideline, I guess that's what the bench is. All of your attacks gain an additional 3,000. When you deal damage to an opponent's fighter, any points of damage, you may deal an additional point to any character in play. When you deal points of damage, this is one thing I remember because this was kind of cool. The card will rotate. So it's like no points of damage, 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, knocked out. At which point the knockout just goes into a discard pile. And whoever's fighter won, there's like another spot where like prizes would go. It's called the winner's circle. Sometimes a fighter has to step back out of the winner's circle to continue the match. It's fine. But again, it's like 1 energy equals like a 6,000 point attack. Deal 1 point of damage to this character while you're doing it. 2 equals 8,000 enraged. You can only perform this when this has 2 or more points of damage. And again, since his effect is Berserk, he's usually like a really good person to have as like your 4th fight. 3rd or 4th, depending on if you think that you're going to win the best of 3. Or best of 5. It's the first 3 wins. So that's one character. We do have the Kuwabara here. He has the United Strike. Attacks gain 1,000 for each type of team symbol on your characters in the winner circle. So that's fine. Sideline effect. Attack Unite. Discard 2 cards from hand to draw a card for each type of team symbol on your character in play. Some characters had multiple team symbols. It's fine. And again, he's got like the 5K defense. The Hiei. Again, pretty cool. He's got a 5,001. I don't think that's a misprint. I just think he's just a cut above everybody else. His attack is Darkness on 2 for 6K. The opponent discards a card at random from their hand when you do this attack. He has an effect during the main phase, I guess. It's a disruption effect, or maybe Disrupt was the name of the effect. You may discard an item attached to this character to discard an item attached to the opponent's fighter. Again, makes sense for the way that Hiei fights. He would definitely throw something at somebody to disarm them. And then, of course, Kurama. 5K defense, 4,500 on a 1. No effect for the attack. 1,000 on the 4 for last-ditch effort. Discard the top 3 from the opponent's deck. So again, you could try to wear out their effects, I guess. And then the last fighter that we had was a young version of Genkai. Now, she's only going to have 4,000 defense, and I'm not sure what that's all about, but she is pretty powerful. She does have an attack on 2 and 1 on 3. The 2 is for 5k. The 1 on 3 is for 4 and gains an additional 1,000 for this turn for each card attached to her. So again, the more equipment cards she gets, the better she is. And then an effect, Intrigue, if this is fighting in your 5th match, her attacks gain an additional 1,000 and -1 energy to a minimum of 0. So again, kind of fantastic, right? Then there come the items. And again, I'm not sure what the little doodahs are, if those are going to be considered like how you consider your energy rating. Don't remember. Let's try to get this to where this is going to focus for you guys so you can check them out. So we got Genkai's hat, gives defense an extra 1,000. The ability here, the defense, discard this item to draw the bottom card of your discard pile if used by Genkai. Choose a technique in the discard pile, put it in your hand. You can only have one of these in your deck. And again, this is something I remember from Score and Upper Deck's Dragon Ball Z TCG back in the early 2000s as well. They had a lot of cards that were like, you could only have one of these in your deck. This was games before ban lists were a thing. We have a Red Rose. Characters attacks gain 1,500 if attached to Yoko or Kurama. You may discard this item to search your deck for a rose in the title. Place that card in hand. Spirit Beast Egg. The opponent cannot play Halt. Again, I don't know what card that is. Main, if you do not have a character in your 5th match slot, discard this to search your deck for a character, placing it into the 5th match slot. And again, it looks like I had 2 or maybe 3. Looks like I had 2. So again, we were trying to get her out as best as possible. We have 2 Spirit Rings. Attacks gain 1,000. If attached to Yusuke, it gains 3k instead. Again, because this is something from the show. Walking Stick. We're going to use those twice. This character's attacks gain 1,000. If attached to a hero, they gain an additional 1,000 for every point of damage on the character. So they can go up to 4k with this, but not all the way up to 5, because again, 4 damage equals a KO. Then we got some purple cards. These are going to be techniques. You can give extra attacks to your characters. This one is Backstab, and again, this is like the, I want to say Elder Togoro, whatever the smaller one was. He had like the ability to grow his nails, like, I know there's an X-Men. I want to say it's X-23 or somebody. They could do that. While attached, this character gains plus 500 attack. Then it has this attack that it'll allow. If your opponent attacked you during their last turn, you don't have to pay any cost for this attack to do minimum damage. Again, I don't remember what that means at all. Desperate attack. We got Keiko just slapping the crap out of the teacher there. If your opponent's fighter is a villain, this deals plus 6k instead of 3. If attached to a hero, draw 2 cards. This cannot deal minimum damage. We have the Dragon of Darkness Flames. Just looks really cool. We got that a couple of times. Fists of the Mortal Flame. 1, 2, 3 copies of that. Heroic Strike. If you have the Urameshi team bonus, and again, you need to have like 3 or more fighters, I think it is, to share a team symbol to get it. Then this attack will do plus 500 for each energy, again, I think, that you have. Effect, your attacks gain plus 2k. Not bad. Inspirational Slash. You may search your deck for 1 copy of Kuwabara's Inspiration. Place that into your hand. Kuwabara's Spirit Push. While this is attached, this character's attacks gain plus 5. 1 and do 4. If attached to Kuwabara, shuffle 5 cards from discard back into deck. You got the Power of Love. If attached to Kuwabara, this attack gains plus 4k for this turn. You got the Power Smack. This character's attacks gain plus 1k. If Kuwabara is in play, then his attacks gain plus 2k. Choose an item in play. Your opponent must pay whatever that is of that item. If he can't, the item is discarded. We have the Sinning Tree. I really don't remember this, but looks cool. Discard this technique to discard up to 2 face-up cards in play. If you discarded 2 items this way, draw 2 cards at the end of this turn. So again, it doesn't say that they have to be your cards that you're discarding. They can be your opponent's. So that's pretty good. Spirit Gun double. You may pay 2 energy, I guess, to have this attack gain plus 3,000 for the turn. Otherwise, it's normally a 4. Spirit Gun Focus, if attached to use K, gain plus 2k for this turn, so then that'll be like a 7k attack. Spirit Reflection. If your opponent's fighter is a villain, attacks printed on that character's card do not deal you any points of damage for the remainder of the match. Your opponent may take 1 point of damage on his fighter to end this effect and discard this technique. So again, that's pretty cool. Spirit Shield. Effect, if attached to a hero, this character gains plus 2k defense, 3 and does 9,000 on attack. All opponents' attacks deal minus 2,000 until the beginning of your next draw phase. So again, this could be like a you gain 2,000 defense, they lose 2,000 attack, creating a nice gap. Oops, sorry, that was just a foil. So that's 2 copies of that. Spirit Sphere. While attached, this character gains plus 500 defense. The attack does nothing on 1. All damage from your technique all damage from techniques is reduced to 0 until the beginning of your next draw phase. Spirit Tornado. Your opponent loses 2 energy and you gain 2 energy. Again, I'm going to guess that's energy. And maybe this is like a cost. So that's why there's 1 printed on the card. While attached, your attacks gain plus 1k. Then we move over to, these are what, events, I believe? Or maybe they're actions. I'm not exactly sure. But they do have the little green lightning bolt up there. If all your characters in play are heroes, then for the remainder of the match, your opponents on the sidelines cannot be dealt points of damage, which is good. Baiting the Dragon, search your deck for a copy of the Dragon of Darkness Flame. Put it in your hand. If he is a fighter, your opponent has to discard a card from their hand. So again, this allows you to get into one of those stronger techniques faster. Clash of Champions. If your fighter is a hero, you may search your deck for an item, put it in your hand at the end of the turn. If your fighter is a villain, you may search your deck for a technique instead. Got 2 of those. Cruel Punishment. Does plus 3,000 to attack here. It says if you have less energy than your opponent, all of your attacks gain plus 3k till the end of your turn. If you have the Koenma team bonus, shuffle 2 events that are not Cruel Punishment back into the deck. So I guess green was events. I guess I called that one right. We have the Defiant Stance. Looks like just 1. Until the next draw step, your attacks gain plus 2k and your opponent's attacks gain minus 2k to a minimum of 0. Demonic Anger. Your attacks gain 4k until the next draw. Empowered Emotions. All players discard all cards in hand. If opponent's fighter is a villain, discard the top 5 of their deck. Limit 1 per deck. Final Gift. Take all the cards attached to one of your characters. Attach them to a sideline character. Flashback. Choose up to 4 events in the discard pile that are not flashback. Shuffle them back into your deck. You cannot play events for the remainder of the turn. Genkai Healing. Heal a point of damage to a sideline character. Looks like we got Heroic Team. If you have the Urameshi team bonus, which we do, until the game ends, when you draw a card, you may draw from the bottom of the deck instead. So again, if you're stacking cards at the bottom of the deck, just keep some notes maybe. Hiei's Secret. If Hiei is a fighter, choose a card type. Discard the top card of your deck. Until you discard a card of the chosen type, put that card in your hand. Got Kitty Love. Just a quick draw 2. Kubara's Inspiration. Remember, we could search this out of the other card. If your fighter is a hero, that character gains 2k attack for the rest of the match. Living the Nightmare. Players cannot use items and techniques until the beginning of your next turn. Painful Memories. For the rest of the match, all of your attacks gain plus 1,000 per defeated characters. If Kubara is a defeated character, your attacks will gain an additional 1k per. Spectacular Battle. For the rest of the match, all of your attacks gain plus 3k and your fighter takes 1 point of damage every time you do not use an attack in your attack step. Again, kind of love the art. Surprise Attack. The next attack you do this turn gains 2k and is its whatever cost, reduced by 1 until the next draw step. Test of Champions. Discard all items in the arena. Limit once per match. Limit 1 per deck. So even if you do recycle this one from that other card, you're only going to get this effect once. So definitely use it when you think it's necessary. Last card will be Use Case Sacrifice. If you have the Urameshi team bonus, choose 3 cards in your opponent's discard pile. Place them on the top of his deck. Should be their deck. But this is back in the day. If your opponent has the Ichigaki team bonus, gain 10 energy and shuffle up to 10 cards from your discard pile back into your deck. And again, if you guys like this, I'll show you guys some more decks. I do have a deck for the Team Ichigaki. I also have a Team Togoro. And I forget what they were called. But Chu was one of them. He was like a really drunk brawler with the sweetest mohawk ever. And his best friend used yo-yos before Killua ever thought about it. So really cool stuff, guys. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, we'll try again next week with another deck from another game. We might just go back to Magic. We might continue a little Yu-Yu-Hakusho to supplement. And then I get some more decks coming this week. So stay tuned for some more stuff, guys. So far, I hope you had a great day. Hope you have a great start to your week. Go out, do something for yourself, and I hope to see you guys again next time. Later.